Hi everyone, hope you guys are having a great start of your week. I know I am. It's been really quiet here. My family left and it gets dark and it gets you feel like there's gunshots or you feel like something's like there's someone here, but it's only like a mango falling on your roof. So it's like shocking, but the Lord is always with us and He's always protecting us and He's always sending little messages saying it's gonna be okay. It's just a mango. You're not gonna die. No one's there. But anyways, so I was reading this verse this morning, Proverbs 14:4, and at the beginning of the time I was reading it, I was like, what does this mean? So I dug a little deeper, and the verse, the New Living Translation says, "An empty stable stays clean, but no income comes from an empty stable." So I was like, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so help me, Lord, to understand it better so I can dig deeper, so I can see where I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I looked up some other translations, and it says, "No cattle, no crops. A good harvest requires a strong ox for the plow. An abundant harvest comes through the strength of an ox." And another translation says, "But much revenue, because of good crops, comes by the strength of the ox." So as I read these verses and I look up different translations, I'm able to understand what this verse that I read at first was trying to tell me. And one of the things that I jotted down this morning was like, empty is not an option. The Lord has given me a field. The Lord has given me a stable to keep. God says in Genesis from the beginning, be fruitful and multiply. He's given us what we need to be fruitful and to multiply it. And that requires that we be strong. So how are we strong? Philippians 4:13, Paul tells us, "I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength." You might feel weak, but that's where God's grace comes in, and it gets bigger and bigger. As you feel weaker and weaker, you just declare it. Lord, I feel weak today. I don't want to get off my butt today. I don't want to work today. But God, you're calling me to be fruitful and multiply. You're calling me to keep my stable. You're calling me to keep my stable fruitful, where people can come in and be fed. And there's this verse behind me, and it says in Psalm 132:15, "I'll shower blessings on the pilgrims who come here and supper for those who arrive hungry." And give supper to those who arrive hungry. There you go. That's the verse. It's Psalm 132:15, and we gotta have a harvest. We have to prepare for it. We have to plow hard, and plowing isn't easy. Plowing takes a lot of strength out of you, but that's where Paul says, "I can do all things, even if I'm weak." Lord, help me because I'm weak and I don't want to plow anymore. And He's going to give you that strength. He's going to see your humility in that. He's going to give you that grace to keep pushing forward, that perseverance to keep going forward. So empty is not an option. Do not leave anything empty. And you don't get anything by not doing anything. So if you're sitting on your couch and your goal is, I want to lose weight, I want to get I just want to look better, are you going to get anywhere by just sitting there? No, you have to get up, you have to work out, you have to eat right, you have to prep, you have to make up a plan so that you can be able to reach to your goal. We all have a goal, and one, that's heaven. We're all reaching toward the goal, which is heaven, which is Jesus Christ alone. But on this earth, we also have other goals. We have goals to do things we want to do things that God has called us to do. We all have to make a plan so that we can get there, but we have to start by where we're at. God has already given us all that we need to be fruitful and multiply. God has already given you what you need to be fruitful and multiply. And don't wait for someone to give you the leftovers. Be that person that has an abundance and is able to give more to other people. And that has always been my heart. I want to give because that's what the Lord did for me. And just like the woman that God forgave, and she came and she cried on Jesus' feet, and she did a beautiful act of worship to Him. and everybody else is looking on like, what the heck is she doing? Like, that's weird. But Jesus was like, for those who I forgave much, they will do much. You know, they'll be even more grateful, more thankful much. But those who I forgive little, they're not going to really care about doing this beautiful act of worship. And our beautiful act of worship is doing what the beautiful things, is doing those things that we're like, oh my gosh, Lord, I'm going to do even more than I ever done before because you've forgiven me, you've loved me, you've given me all this, and I pray that you would help me, that it would multiply and that it would overflow into others people's lives so they can feel your love and your forgiveness and your grace, and know that they're not alone and that you hear their cry when they need, you know, because God like knows our needs, and he's always going to provide what we need so that we can always be filled, and in that filling we can also fill others. So I pray that you go plow, that you go cultivate, that you go work hard, because we can't get anything by not doing anything. We can't get an income if we have an empty stable. And we need all the strength that we can get, and that strength only comes from Jesus. It doesn't come from anything else. I've tried a lot of things for strength, and all of it has left me almost dead, almost dying, and on my deathbed. And I thank the Lord because I'm still here because of him and because he has a plan for me. And you're still here because he has a plan for you. So I pray that you use all that God has given you to be fruitful and multiply, and to leave your stable wide open so people can come in and be filled by the Lord because of what he's done in you. And I pray that this was a blessing, and I'm praying for each and every one of you. Remember, empty is not an option. Go ignite others. In Jesus' name.